In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving my red-tailed green rat snake right here a brand new enclosure. So stick around.
My name is Nick Pulaski. Growing up, I have always had a passion for wildlife, and with that passion, along with my passion of filmmaking, I get taken on some amazing adventures creating wildlife content, getting up close with a variety of incredible animals. So come follow along as I pursue my goals of educating, inspiring, exploring, and conserving wildlife, all while having fun, seeing the beauty in our natural world.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Truly means the world to me. As you can see, I have my snake hook in hand, and we are finally going to be working on these arboreal cages right here. We are actually going to be working on this enclosure right here, and we have Johnny, the red-tailed green rat snake, in this enclosure over here. And I actually got this inspiration from zoos, where they actually will have the enclosures connected, but you can also keep them separate as well. So I'm like, I could actually do that with this one right now, because I don't have any plans to add anything in here besides another red-tailed green rat snake. And you can definitely keep them together as a pair. So that's what I plan to do once I find a quality captive female that I can raise up as well. But if I do find a quality captive female and she's not the size as Johnny is, Johnny's a full-grown adult male, I want to make sure that I can actually use this as a separate enclosure as well. So I don't want to just bust this wall open in some sort of way and have this free range. I want to be able to cap it off if I need to. So I found just the idea I was thinking in my head, and it's a simple solution. So the simple solution is actually using this. So this is a PVC adapter right here for plumbing, and basically all I do is I screw this off and it's an open hole right here. So this is a 3-inch piece right here, perfect and plenty of room for these guys, and these guys can go in between. It's great too if I want to change enclosures and stuff like that. I can put Johnny per se while he's alone in here, and I can clean this enclosure, and then I could switch them out. It's just a nice thing. This is common in zoos as well too. They'll have different enclosure connectors so they can move the animals around, get into the enclosure, clean, do whatever. It's a convenient thing. Now mind you, it's easy to move them out and do it this way, but this is a nice convenient factor. It gives him double the space as well too. Really make some cool things with this. So with the supplies I have, we are going to make something really fun out of this, and not just make it look like a pipe here, we're going to make it look naturalistic too. So without further ado, let's take out Johnny. He is in shed, so he's completely opaque and blue. You're going to see in a second here, so he's going to be blind as a bat here. But normally when he's in shed, basically what I can do is I can just pull him out, and he's pretty mellow because he's blind. So that's what we're going to do here. And I let the animal do its thing. I don't want to stress him out too much or anything like that. I know, buddy. Oh, I'm going to drop that on the ground. So yeah, he is completely... feel bad because he's completely blind right now. You can kind of see that blueness about him. But as you can see, he's completely blue inside here, and normally he's like that nice emerald green, but right now you can see he's got that really cool bluish hue. It almost matches his tongue. You can see his eyes are completely opaque as well too. But yeah, so now what we're going to do is we're basically going to take him out, so you can step back if you want. Shout out to my girlfriend Debbie here for doing the camera work. She is doing awesome. I know she gets nervous around this snake, but he is totally fine. Here, buddy. You go that way. Basically, yeah, he's totally fine. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift him up. I normally like to tail the snake, so I'm going to let him go down. I'm going to pick up, just like so. Great. Like so. There we go. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to put him down in this temporary enclosure. It's always tricky with one hand here, but it works. But this is basically the goal too, is swap him out, have the ability to move him to the other side of the enclosure, and not even have to use this box. But I mean, it's still a great system. Definitely is a lot easier when he's in shed, but basically that's him right here. So I'm going to get him out of the way, and then we're going to go and continue this build. Let's do it. So now that we have Johnny out of here, what we're going to be doing is, like I said, we're going to be setting this up. So if you guys saw when I built this many years ago, you guys know that this was actually an old bookshelf, actually from IKEA, and someone was actually throwing away this. So I completely gutted this thing out. I will definitely leave a link somewhere so you guys can check this video out as well. It's a pretty cool build. It's cool to transform old furniture into reptile enclosures like this, and it worked out pretty well. So this, to kind of cut to the chase, this is all just painted on pond epoxy here. These middle boards here are actually wood. So these are solid pieces of wood right here on both sides, and it separates into 3 different enclosures. So like I said, we're going to connect this one with the middle one right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have this adapter right here, and I'm going to put, basically we want the smaller rim here to be where we draw the outline, because then we're just going to draw and basically push it fully in, and the adapter piece right here will just connect snug right there, and then we'll silicone around it. That's how we're basically going to reseal it. So I have a white crayon right here. Now I just really have to determine where I want to put this thing. Do I want to put it higher? Do I want to put it lower? What do I necessarily want to do? I mainly think the use for these cages are going to be for arboreal snakes, which is perfect for the red-tailed green rat snakes for sure. But I think I'm going to mainly just kind of put it right in the middle right here like so. And then I'm going to cover this and hide this with some cork rounds that I have. And we're going to saw those off so they sit flat against this, and we'll silicone them to that as well. And then we'll decorate the enclosure. Obviously, as we go on, we may put some live plants in here and really make it look really nice as time goes on, but we're going to get the basics in here. So basically how I'm going to cut this hole is I don't have something that's going to be big enough to make a 3-inch hole if I just drill into it. So I'm going to do constant drilling all the way around with my drill, and then we're going to use a saw and cut out the edges like so. But luckily for you guys, you're going to see this process done in a flash thanks to editing. So let's get to it. All right, so I made do with what I had. We got the big chunk out of the way here, and then we just kind of rounded it out a little bit. I don't have like something to sand it with or anything like that, unfortunately. If you do, highly recommend that. There are definitely better ways to making a hole than what I just did. Obviously, it is not perfect whatsoever, and that's okay. I'm not too worried about it, because at the end of the day, that fits in snug. All around it is going to be siliconed, and then it's going to be completely covered with the cork bark, completely sealed once again. So that's what we're going to do right now, actually, is we're going to actually seal this. So first things first, big tip, I definitely recommend this when you're working with silicone. Wet your fingers. That way the silicone does not stick to them, so you can actually put it on manually, like so. So now I'm just going to rub it in here. Nice bead all the way across here. Once this is in place, I don't want it going anywhere, right? This hole is here to stay. So now I'm just going to plug the hole like so. Maybe a little bit more water on my fingers here. And basically, I'm just going to rub all, especially right here in this corner where the hole is. And this comes out super easy. I don't ever have to tighten it like fully like you would if this was actually used for like a house or per se or anything like that, where there's actually going to be pressure. So this cap will lightly just be screwed in just a couple turns and it'll be totally fine. I can actually get this out of my way right now. But yeah, so this will be the hole right here. They'll be able to do their thing, go right through. Totally fine. So now this is going to be perfectly sealed. So as this cures on both sides, I'm not going to just sit here and wait a little bit. I'm actually going to be using this here. So this is actually part of the cork rounds that I'm going to be using here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use my measuring tape. I'm going to measure a little bit out, and then I'm going to give this a little bit of like depth to it as well too. So basically on both sides, it's going to kind of look like a cork hollow, like a log or something. Like this was basically a tree, and it's going to kind of branch out from there. And then, like I said, it's not going to look perfect after we set this all up. We're going to establish it over time, but my goal is to eventually have like the mosses look really nice, and then attach with some like ferns and some vines and stuff like that, and really make this like a really nice naturalistic kind of setup over time. So we're not going to get that all going today, but we'll definitely get this going. We're going to have some nice hides. We're going to put some branches, maybe at least one branch to start. I would love to make these environments more naturalistic to the animals. Once I get him a girlfriend, I want this to be a nice, comfortable setting for both of them. So they can be together if they want. They can be separated if they want as well too. That's what this is all about. So this is all just a part of a breeding project, working with what I got here, making it better, improving. So I'm going to measure these out, cut them, make them nice and smooth on one side, and then we're going to silicone them here as well too, and let that cure. Here we go. So here it is right here. So this is the cork round. This is going to be the natural side. That's going to be pointing outward this way. And then we have this side over here that's going to be completely flat. So that's going to lay flush right there. So right now what I'm going to do, just like I did before, is just applying. I love this cork. It makes things look so naturalistic. Reptiles all over, all kinds. Love this stuff. Great for hides. Thinking if I have a wider wall this way, that way I for sure cannot see it. Like that. Not bad, right? So now, yeah, this is literally perfect. At least I feel it is. So now that's suctioned into place. I don't have to worry about like attaching something here to make sure it holds or anything like that. The cork isn't really like heavy or anything like that, so it should just sit right into place. It's a very light kind of wood. So it's going to sit right into place here. Eventually too, what I can do is I can actually put some like sphagnum moss. I'll just kind of spruce this up a little bit and make this a little bit more natural. But for the time being, I'm just going to do that here, and then I'm going to do that on the other side, and then we're set and ready to go here. So let's go and do the other side, and we should be all good to go. I didn't cut these to be the same like length. So the other side is like 4 inches, I believe. This one I believe is like 2.5, 3. So I wanted it to not look symmetrical, especially when you're doing stuff. And I think that's what's fun about this is you don't want, nature is not symmetrical. So you don't want your pieces to look symmetrical, in my opinion. So now I'm going to flatten that right here, just like so. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, that is all one piece. So obviously that's 2 pieces right there, but the top part is going to overlap and it looks completely natural. So not too bad, honestly. I think this looks great. I think the reptiles are going to love this too. I really think these red-tailed green rats are going to like really enjoy their brand new spot here. Honestly, it couldn't look any better. I love this. I think this looks perfect. It really is turning into like a really nice looking natural setup. Before it was okay looking, but like it was kind of plain and boring. This I think adds a new type of depth to the enclosure, which I really like. So once this is all set up, once this is all cured, they'll be able to sit on top of here, which is going to be cool, and perch themselves up, go on both sides, and it's going to look incredible. But we have to wait a little bit. We have to let this cure, and it will be all set and ready to go for these guys. All right, so the enclosure is basically ready now. So as you can see, this is cured. This isn't going anywhere on both sides, so it's perfect. So as time goes on and as days go on, it's only going to keep continuously hardening. But like I said, you only necessarily need 30 minutes to an hour to just necessarily let it cure. I would normally say if you're doing like a full-on enclosure build and you're doing like the walls and everything like that, and then you're putting like the eco earth on it, I would say let that cure for probably maybe even go a few days. That way it gets to air out. But like when you're using a light amount of silicone like this, you're not going to have as many fumes like you would if you did like a whole sectioning kind of thing, if that makes sense. But like I said, let me know if you guys have any questions down below. I love doing these DIY projects, but like I said, we're not done yet, so we got to get everything all decked out in here. But we're going to start with substrate here. As you guys know, I use the cypress mulch. Just organic cypress mulch, no fertilizers. I want to make sure they have a humid hide. So we're going to do this in this corner right here. That's where I'm going to put one of the hides. So we're going to put it in the one hide over here. Now basically, I'm going to be keeping this one side basically the same. I'm not going to change it up too much. Put it off of this thing. Yeah, I think that looks cool. Kind of brings you into the tunnel kind of thing, so I think it sits up a little bit better too. So I think that works out pretty well. So I think basically as is, this looks good. So now what I'm gonna do, we're basically in the end stages here. So really, especially when you're throwing in brand new moss, you really wanna spritz it down. So the enclosures are basically all finished. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna put Johnny back in his original section right here, and we're gonna give him the option. I don't think, honestly, he's going to do much. I'd be kind of shocked if he goes to the new section right now. The reason I'm saying that, like I said, this dude is in shed. Probably just go back in. There you go. There you go, buddy. I know. It's kind of funny because he's completely blind right now. So, I know. You're big and tough. He can still see a little bit and kind of sense me and everything. He can still probably see my shadows and everything. But he's completely blind for the most part otherwise. So that being said, when he gets out of shed, oh what? It's so cool seeing these rat snakes. I mean, they just have this big puff up and they act all big and tough and stuff like that. And rat snakes can be a little bit loony and more cantankerous. But I mean, this guy has definitely mellowed down a little bit, a lot more than when I originally got him. He's just a really cool snake overall. I love this guy to death, and I'm happy to extend his home out a little bit. But like I was saying, he's completely blind for the most part right now. You can see he's kind of puffing up right now. They try to act all big and strong. Once he gets out of shed, he's going to see his brand new home clearly. And that's going to be a real exciting thing, that's for sure. But for right now, I mean, he is totally in a deep shed right now. Normally, he's basically almost as blue as his bowl right now. But like I said, he turns into like this emerald green. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he's going to explore maybe even tonight or once he gets out of shed, which will be in a couple of days here. Absolutely love this species, and I hope to find a really good female captive bred this time around. Haven't had success with the field caught ones, and I hate taking things out of the wild to begin with. Yeah, hopefully we're going to be captive breeding these guys soon, because he is a healthy, nice looking adult male, and I would love to get him a nice girlfriend. He deserves it. So really cool species overall. Like I said, guys, I hope you guys found this video helpful and informal. This was basically something, if it wasn't for the siliconing, you could literally do this in an hour. Wasn't that much work, but it's going to make a difference, that's for sure. It's going to be something really cool for this species of snake that I'm going to keep in here right now to go out, explore arborealness. Like I said, we're going to deck out these walls down the line. We're going to put some planters in here and really grow some really cool plants in here as well. And do some fun things in here. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you guys have any questions, or if you guys are building things down below, I would love to hear your guys' comments as well. You guys mean the world to me, and I thank you guys so much. And this community for me has been awesome that we have built. So continue it, share these videos around. I would greatly appreciate it. Definitely check me out on my social media as he gets out of shed and as he explores this enclosure. I will definitely update you guys on that as well too, so you guys can see his progress and how he utilizes this enclosure and how we go about updating this enclosure as time goes on. I will definitely do that and keep you in loop with all the animals as well. It's an exciting time. We're going on some cool adventures down the line, so I'm really excited to take you guys on those as well too. So definitely stick around for the channel. If you guys could do me a couple favors, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, as well as hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Thank you guys so much again for watching. It truly means the world to me, and until next time, we will see you guys soon. Take care.